Hey everybody! The other day when I was pulling out my good old Bowdrill kit, I looked and my board was covered with holes. Not just holes from like something chewing on it, but holes from me making so many friction fires that now my board is unusable. I've used up all the space in my board with notches and burn-ins, and I can't make another fire because there's just so many of them. And I'm like cracking down the middle, my spindle is super short, and it's time for a new set. So today I'm gonna be showing you how I like to revamp my Bowdrill kit, make a new set of a spindle and a board, and make a good fire. Let's get started. All right, so my board here is made out of some cottonwood. There are tons of different materials you can use for this, but so far this has been one of my favorites. And so we're gonna go along to where we have these trees growing on our property and find a good piece for my board and for my spindle. So I looked around and I found this super nice dead little tree here connected to this one. And up there, it looks like it has a pretty nice section for my fireboard. So I'm gonna take my good old saw and cut this guy down. Timber! Now from that same piece, I'm gonna grab this chunk right here for my spindle. Now that I got myself my fireboard piece and my spindle piece, we're going to start to shape them. All right, so now what we're gonna be using to shape my pieces of wood are two of my favorite tools. Good old Mora knife, $15 good old carbon steel blade, awesome knife, and a pretty sweet hatchet from Gransfors Bruk in Sweden that my uncle made. Let's get started. Now if you look, my piece has a bit of a curve in it. So I want that side to be down, not on its side, because then my board will wobble. So I want it to be on the flat side. Take my good hatchet and get to chopping. Now that I've gotten it to a pretty good plank with my hatchet, I'm gonna make sure that it's stable, which side it's more stable on, and then personalize a little bit with my knife. So, I've made my board into a nice flat plank, even on the ground. Rounded the edges a little bit, it carved off these edges so they're sharp and easier to make notches on. And that's pretty much done. Now we move on to the spindle. Spindle's a little more tricky to get perfect. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna look down this and find the best straight spot with my fingers. And that's where I'm gonna cut it with my knife. Okay, that looks pretty good. Look down the other end, carve off some of these knots right here. And now I'm just going to keep carving this, make a short point on one end, a long point on the other, and make sure it's perfectly straight and round all the way around. Turns out my spindle isn't quite as good as I thought it was. When I took off the bark, it's actually a lot skinnier than I thought it was, and there are too many knots for what I like, so I'm just gonna go grab another one. Okay, I ran off and grabbed this piece. It's a little thicker, so I have a little more to work with. Hopefully this will help me out a bit. Now that I got a fully functional board and spindle, I'm gonna burn in using my trusty bamboo bow, holiday style, and my good old handhold that I use all the time. Good smoke. Now we got our bottom all the way burned in and our top. Now we're gonna carve a notch. Make a nice full pie slice, that's my notch. Now it's time to make a coal. Grab a tinder bundle, get some sticks, throw some lubricant in the top, and we're ready to rock. Let's make a coal. We got a coal! And now, my friends, we have made a fire with the new kit, and so we shall honor the time-honored celebration of burning your old kit once you're through with it and making it into fire, which was its purpose in the beginning. Let this kit burn, because you know what? We got a new one. Well, made a fire, made a new Bowdrill kit, burned the old Bowdrill kit. I think that's a pretty successful day. Sorry for all the silliness at the end. That was a little uncalled for, but it was super fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. You know, it was a really good excuse to make a new kit because, as I said, I really need one. But as always, thanks for watching and see you next time.